So for all foodie visitors and potential new residents of Healdsburg, you're in for a treat. In today's video, we're exploring the top 5 restaurants that make living in Healdsburg a truly gastronomic experience. The easy thing to do would be to focus on those restaurants that are the most decorated with Michelin stars, but there's more to a dining experience than Michelin stars, which is why I've got 2 restaurants that you may never have heard of. So let's dive in. First up, Single Thread Farms. It's the only 3-star Michelin star restaurant in Healdsburg, and with good reason. I was lucky enough to go for my 50th birthday, and it was truly spectacular. In my view, a lot better than the French Laundry in Yountville in Napa County, which is often what it gets compared with. It's an intimate and luxurious farm-to-table dining experience focused on Japanese cuisine and ingredients, with much of the produce grown a few miles away on the farm on Dry Creek Road. The restaurant's owned by husband and wife team Kyle and Katina Connaughton. The chef Kyle actually worked at the Fat Duck in the UK for a stint, where I had one of my best ever meals. In fact, while I was preparing this video, I worked out he was actually there when I ate there all those years ago. Connaughton oversees the tasting menu, which features dishes like turbo cooked in dashi with Japanese mushrooms, or soy marinated local Sonoma duck with persimmon, or Hokkaido uni with smoked potatoes. I mean, this probably doesn't give you much of an idea, but trust me, it's absolutely delicious. The restaurant only offers one prefixed menu for, wait for it, $800 per person, and that excludes beverages. It's not easy to get into, so you need to plan ahead, with only 8 to 12 seats available in the dining room per night. The setting allows the chef to personally explain each course to the guests. If the dinner menu isn't your thing, then there is an 11-course menu at $450 per person for lunch service, but that's only on weekdays. I've never had this menu, but I can only imagine it lives up to expectations. So if you are looking for a truly special occasion meal, I really think you'd be hard pushed to beat Single Thread Farms literally anywhere in the world. So next up, let's talk about Vette. This is another popular choice for many people coming to Healdsburg because it's definitely a long established restaurant. It's one of the 4 Michelin starred restaurants in the town, alongside Barn Diva and Madrona Manor, which is actually just outside of the city. Vette is another fine dining restaurant in Healdsburg, obviously, by renowned chef Dustin Vette, but it's nothing on the scale or price of Single Thread. It's located right on the plaza in a converted home, and it offers an intimate dining room with only 38 seats, but now that restaurants are allowed to have their parklets outside following COVID, it's expanded the capacity of this restaurant along with many others. If you are looking to book, I'd strongly recommend the outdoor seating area. I mean, I just prefer the slightly more informal feel for a restaurant of this type. And the restaurant focuses on modern American cuisine using seasonal and local ingredients from Sonoma County, as well as their own farm. The tasting menu features dishes like Sonoma duck with cherries, foie gras, and smoked sturgeon. One of the dishes, which is a long-term favourite, is the scallops in a sauce with a pastry crust. It's definitely the pick of the appetizers in my view. If I was to choose a main, it would probably be the duck with cherries, which is another dish which has been on the menu for quite a while. That being said, the menu is always changing, so it's definitely worth taking a look prior to booking. So Vette offers a choice of a 5-course menu for $135 per person, or a 7-course menu for $155 per person. With the wine pairing menu, the tasting menu is either $255 or $295. But of course, as with all of these restaurants, you can also choose to eat a la carte. There is no question that Vette offers a distinctive farm-to-table dining experience that uses seasonal produce, but I do feel like it's sitting on its laurels a little bit. I've been there, quite a few times, and it feels like its good dishes are truly exceptional, but there are just too many dishes that they're just not as good as they should be for a Michelin star restaurant. Well, at least that's my personal view. So now let's talk about Dry Creek Kitchen. I recently went to Vette for my 30th wedding anniversary while my wife and I had a staycation. And then a couple of days later, we went to Dry Creek Kitchen with some friends for the first time in quite a few years. So I have a very direct comparison. To be honest, I was incredibly impressed with Dry Creek Kitchen. Dry Creek Kitchen is actually part of Hotel Healdsburg and is one of Charlie Palmer's restaurants. As with any restaurant, I mean, it's all about the chef. And Dry Creek Kitchen has just just got a new one. So if you've written it off because of a mediocre experience in the last few years, I'd highly recommend that you give it another try. The new executive chef is Shane McAnally, who joins Dry Creek Kitchen after a short stint cooking at the Horseshoe Farm in North Carolina. However, prior to that, he actually spent the previous 7 years cooking at Healdsburg restaurants, including Chalkboard and the much-loved Brass Rabbit. He also led the culinary program at Russian River Winery, Brickell Vineyards, when it opened in 2020. They do offer a tasting menu for $135 with an additional $80 for the wine pairing accompaniment. One of McAnally's passions is fresh pasta, which explains the spotlighting of a agnolotti dish that is a nod to Mexican alite with hot peppers, shishito peppers, Mexican cheese, and lime. I mean, I had the Liberty Farms en croute duck dish, which with Brussels sprouts, squash, and orange juice was absolutely delicious. In fact, everyone I was with really enjoyed their meal and everyone had something different. I do remember that the chocolate peanut butter bar dessert, which reminded me of a Snickers bar, was truly delicious. As well as a new chef, the space has also had a transformation with the relocation of the wine cellar, which is now a glass encased showpiece adjacent to the kitchen. The biggest change to the dining room itself was the addition of a grand round 8-top table dubbed the terroir table, which sits beneath a glass and steel chandelier within view of the sidewalk. The restaurant's bar also got a new look, including a mirrored back bar top to help open up the space. The space is really nice and inviting with large floor-to-ceiling windows. I mean, there is an outside area, but it does feel a little bit like you're sitting on the sidewalk, which you are. So, I mean, I would probably opt for a table inside, but by the windows. Now for a restaurant I bet you've probably never heard of, and it's Gizo. Gizo is a Latin fusion restaurant that provides a taste of Latin American flavors using fresh, local ingredients from Sonoma County. Chef Carlos serves creative tapas reflecting diverse Latin cuisine from Mexico, Peru, Cuba, and as well as Spain. According to Carlos, the food is a little bit modern and a little bit of rustic. It goes back to the Mayans and the Aztecs. Born in El Salvador, Carlos was drawn to the kitchen from an early age, absorbing a deep passion for food from his mother and grandmother. And in fact, the whole restaurant is very much a family-run restaurant. The menu features small plates like empanadas, ceviche, tacos. Signature dishes include braised octopus, pork sliders, empanadas, and their signature pupusas with a choice of either chicken or vegetarian filling. The mains range from paella, literally like you've never had before, steak, or the most recent addition to the menu, the after-church smashed burger, which I've not had yet, but I am looking forward to it. Typical small plates range from $10 to $15, while mains cost between $18 and $30. The wine list, as you'd expect, includes many local selections, but also a number of Latin American wines as well. The colourful, lively setting matches the cuisine with traditional mass, vibrant tile work, and Cuban music. The outdoor patio, introduced since COVID, almost doubles the number of tables, making it a lot easier to get a table, certainly than it used to be. That being said, you still do need to book well in advance, but it's absolutely worth it. So now for a surprise option, a bakery that turns into a French bistro in the evening. I know it sounds unlikely, but hear me out. I'm probably now about to butcher the name, but the restaurant is called Le Diner, and it offers a charming, intimate dinner service inside Troubadour, which is a bakery during the day. It was set up by the Single Thread alum who also set up the popular Quail and Condor Bakery. Led by husband and wife team Stéphane and Nicole Saint-Lubert, Le Diner serves French-inspired seasonal fare Thursday through Saturday evenings. The menu focuses on highlighting local ingredients in dishes like smoked duck salad, pan-seared sturgeon with cauliflower puree, and also Sonoma lamb chops with ratatouille. You'll also find French classics on the menu, including onion soup, trout, almondine, and steak frites. As you'd expect, desserts are next level, with Troubadour's pastry creations like fresh baked madeleines and creme brulee. Le Diner provides a prix-fixe menu for $65 per person with add-ons like wine pairing and cheese boards. The space seats just 30 guests inside the bakery with communal tables, so it's definitely a little different. You do need to book well in advance, so make sure to book if you are planning a trip. The space, I mean, it is a little unusual given it is a bakery by day day and bistro by night, but it does pull it off with a cozy ambiance which offers a uniquely charming French bistro-style dining experience. From the classic dishes to the top-notch pastries, Le Diner is French dining and hospitality at its finest. It's definitely worth checking out ahead of some of the other probably better known restaurants for something a little bit different, but it's definitely expertly executed. So those are my favorite restaurants. There's no place for places like Barn Diva, which ironically used to be the one restaurant we used to come to before we even lived up here. We went back there for the first time in 5 to 6 years a few months ago, and it just feels like it hasn't really moved on. It's still good food, but it just feels tired compared to some of the other options available. It's sometimes easy to go to the Michelin star restaurants, and some of them, don't get me wrong, they are truly spectacular, but it's also worth trying something a little different. I guarantee you won't regret it. So that's my list of the top restaurants to eat at in Healdsburg. Try some of them out and let me know how you enjoy them. I mean, I get calls from people all the time moving homes, specifically around Healdsburg, Windsor, and Sonoma County in general, asking for recommendations. So reach out to me if you're looking at buying in and around Healdsburg, Windsor, and Sonoma County, or would just like to know more. My number's in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love the next video on screen right now. Thanks for watching.